Alright guys, welcome back. So I have my Chihuahua collar off finally. Apparently that video had like great engagement, go figure. Maybe you guys are just a bunch of masochists, I don't know. But bit of an update. We're crushing through the bulk, just processing it crazier, and I haven't felt this good in a long time, so it's nice. I do have to be careful with my neck still, so I can't like tilt down too much. I have to be careful like lifting things over my head too, but whatever. A bit of a fun mail day. Make sure there's no mailing things here. Yeah, cool. We got 5 cases of this in today. That is 30 boxes of the next Scarlet Violet set, adding into the pile that's over there and growing daily, weekly. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, but what I am doing next, Rosetta is the big thing this month I wanted to talk about, right? So last set we were supposed to be over what we had for heavy hitters, right? So I was expecting between like 6 and 650 boxes of mist veil. In the final nth hour, I ended up getting cut down like 100 boxes or something like that, and a bunch of shenanigans happened. My shipping got delayed. I got a small chunk of it initially, and then we had to get it, like, it was a bunch of hoops I had to jump through to get the stuff sorted. But it all got sorted, everyone got their stuff, it got taken care of, it was good to go. And this is why also, I don't pre-sell all boxes that I get. Like, I keep a huge chunk for me, I sell a chunk locally with people that I know are a little bit more chill and okay waiting a few days. So I kind of like play the flex game there a little bit, and I limit the number of cases that I have to get out like immediately for that reason. I was still short. I think it was like 10 cases, 20 cases, something like that. It wasn't like a huge amount, but it was enough that I was like, oh man. So I just sent emails out to people, and I was like playing the juggling game. However, this time for Rosetta, I'm at 820 boxes. That is a mid 5-figure order of Rosetta. Like, that is bananas amounts of boxes. Like, I want you to think about this for a second, right? Like this is the standard FaB case size, right? It's like, like 11 by 7 by 5.5, something like that. I want you to picture 205 of these stacked on top of each other. That is a ridiculous amount of product. That's like 6 feet tall, 5 feet tall, and like 3 by 3 wide, something like that. Swoosh! Anyway. That is a bananas amount of product. Like, I want you to picture, if you go look up on Google, right? I want you to do this. Go look up a Kia Sportage, right? The 2023 is what we have. I had to buy the wife a new car. Her old one was like a piece of crap. It kept breaking. I got tired of fixing it. I'm like, I'm spending more time fixing this car than I am paying to save money to not buy a new car. So we just bought a new car for her finally. And we got it like right before the rates started going up way up on the cars. But the Kia Sportage 2023, I want you to go look up the cabin size in that car with the seats dropped down, and I want you to picture that entire car floor to ceiling with FaB cases, the front seat floor to my chest of cases, because I gotta be a little bit safe with the driving, right? I usually like hold like an arm up when I'm driving like this, and just like if the tower falls on me, like it like falls on my arm and I push it back, like totally fine. Driving in Maryland, right? Yeah. But that is what like 560 boxes I think is going to occupy. When I did that before with 560, I only had a couple of cases in the front seat, and I had some more that I could jimmy around. This time, I'm going to have that mofo stuffed like floor to ceiling, and I might have to do it in 2 trips. If it comes in 2 chunks, I might actually be really okay with that, just because then I can do 2 trips in my car. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with the shipping. But yeah, we're at a brand new record. The entire allocation is paid for as well. We should be getting it a little bit early, hopefully. And I should be able to get everything shipped out to everyone that did the pre-orders for that hopefully by release weekend, Friday, Saturday-ish. Worst case scenario, Monday, Tuesday, and the following week, depending. I don't have total control over UPS/USPS, but shipping from like say Maryland to California usually takes 5 to 6 business days. Um, Unfortunate. If you're like super close to me locally, it'll be there quicker, etc. Like, shipping is what shipping is. I have no control over that. But it is a super huge milestone for me personally, because that means this year I will have ordered or purchased, because I'm going to throw this in there, because if I do, then it makes the math works out. If I will have ordered or purchased over 2,000 boxes of flesh and blood. Think about that for a second. 2,000 boxes of flesh and blood. Like, that is crazy. And I only want to go more. Like next year, I'm going to try and push past 1,000 to 1,200 units per set. And I want to keep scaling it and keep growing it. I want that side of the business to continue to accelerate to a point where like I can just have an indefinite number of cases constantly moving, constantly selling. I would like to be able to do step down sales on the sealed after a certain amount of time. So like if it's at 275, I sell 5 boxes or 5 cases. If it goes up to 285, I'll sell another 5, etc. And just kind of like do that step up approach so that like as the box prices increase, I have a nice chunk of like 30 to 40 cases that I can just kind of enjoy this like steady income stream through. And like, even if I capture a case a month across 10 sets, which would be like ideal, right? That generates me, $2,000 to $3,000 a month just in nice passive income. It costs me about $50 to $100 to get it all shipped out. And then, just that we have this nice cycle of rotation. Also, USPS keeps increasing their freaking shipping prices. I used to pay, oh God, $5.70 to ship a case of FaB. Now I'm paying like almost $8. Like, it's crazy, these shipping increases prices. But that is kind of like what the goal is. This entire system I've been building, I want to have lazy access to money. I want to have fast access to money. That's why we're sitting here sorting, 100 cards of the same thing. Or maybe, we go super crazy and we go 300 cards of the same thing, because why not? But every one of these gets processed, sold, and moved. Even if these are penny or 2 penny cards, I still get a penny or 2 back on TCG Direct. And ideally, if I move between 10 and 100 cards a day, that turns into $5, $10, $20, $50, $60, $70 a day times X number of sets. And that, like, you begin to see where this volume game starts to win. I'm very close now to getting the last of the bulk from the huge purchase sorted now. I have 4 shelves of 18 boxes, so like 60 some odd, and then like a little corner in there filled. You can't really see it from here, but it's like down in there. So we're definitely under 100 boxes now, and that's like a huge point, right? Like this is the last like 20-25%. So what that means is like as I enter this final section, all the stuff that was pre-sorted in the purchase is going to start coming together, which means I'm going to start being able to put those sets together. I don't have to devote all the time and stuff to resorting them and recategorizing the boxes. I can take all the stuff that's not sorted, I can have it piled by set, get everything sorted individually by set, color code it, drop it off. And this is where the machine starts churning. And I'll prioritize sets that I don't have actively listed, that are not sorted already, to get that bulk sorted, etc. And we begin this cycle of just repeated, continual work where we just constantly cycle and push out cards. I'm moving between, on any like given day, between 30 and 100 cards, depending on the day. I don't think I've had a direct order go out in the past like 3 or 4 weeks that wasn't over 100 plus cards, and that's every 2 to 3 days that those push out. And that's with 8 or 9 sets listed, I think, and I'm gonna probably quadruple that here in the next like 2 months, assuming everything goes the way I would like it to go. This weekend I'll push through another 15 to 20 boxes, clear out another shelf, make room for another 8 to 10 5 rows, push out another 5 to 10, rinse, repeat here in the next like 3 to 6 weeks. That'll all be done. Rosetta will come in here, slam me for about a week. I do have a fun / work trip planned. I think the week after of the Rosetta release. I think that's tentatively when that's going to fall. We'll see how right that is. If I am right, I'm going to totally link the video to this timestamp and then send it and be like, ha, I called it. But we'll see how that falls out. We'll see. I might be off by a week, but I think it's going to be the week after the Rosetta release. But yeah, it's just like such a cool moment for me, right? Like, this is like that moment where like I sit down and I'm like, oh my God, I am moving thousands of boxes of product a year. Like, if you sat me down in 2021 when I started this, right, with what was it? It was 6 boxes of Call Time. I bought 2 of the bundles, 2 draft, and 2 collector boxes. And I was like, you know what? I haven't made a master set of anything in so long. I just want to sit down, open some cards, and I want to make a set. And I was like, yeah, this will be cool. I like the art. It's all like Norse mythology and stuff. It was like ice and Norse themed and Vikings, and the special treatment art was super cool. And it was just like a really fun moment. And I was like, oh man, okay. Well, I'm still missing some cards. Let me go down to the LGS. They did a big opening too. I'll get the cards I'm missing, trade for them, etc. Blah, blah, blah. I'll get some store credit with what's left. And I traded and got my full set. It's done. I'm only missing I think I'm missing like a couple of the foil variants of the special versions. I still have not gone back and finished that. I'll probably finish that this month. I'll show you guys what I did with it. It was really neat. I even have like a really cheap, shitty binder for it too. But to look back at that, and then from that evolution of buying some Magic, because the last time I played Magic was like Gate Crash, I think. Or was it Gate Crash? I think it was Gate Crash. It was back in like 2013. So whatever set was releasing around that time, I think it was Gate Crash. That was the last time that I had played or messed with cards, was like almost 10 years prior. Before that, it was about 10 years prior to that with Pokemon. So I'd had this like weird, I jump in, I jump out, I jump in, I jump out. And then in 2021, I was like, oh, I jump in, and then I didn't get out. And I kept buying, and then I found Flesh and Blood, and then I kept buying, and I was like, oh, well, what if I did this and this? And then at some point I had this like genius epiphany that I was like, why am I buying everything at retail when I'm willing to work and just be a total grind lord and just grind my ass off for stuff that I want in my collections? And that kind of just started this whole snowball thing. I would buy collections, I'd sell a few $1,000. I'd buy collections, sell a few $100, rinse, repeat, go buy like a $1,000 collection here, sell like 80% of it to keep 800 up, make my $800 back, take $200, but then I have like $600 in cards that I paid $200 for. And I was like super happy with this. And like that entire mind shift happened. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just kind of like flitting along. And I went from like, $1,000 a month to about $2,000 a month. I started doing grading stuff. I got mentored by Saint. Saint taught me so much stuff. Like, I appreciate that dude like night and day. Like, I would not be here without Saint. So like, huge kudos to him. And then to watch that evolution and like that weird like click in my mind at some point in the past year, I was like, you know what? I really want to make this be a thing. And that is like when I fundamentally was like, okay, I'm going to shift from this like 80-20 mindset where like I want to move 80% as quickly as possible so I can keep 20%, to I'm going to move 80% and then keep moving the other 20% and then keep moving all of that again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And now all of a sudden I'm processing between, it depends on the week, but between like $1,000 and $2,000 a week of singles, and that's just mostly through direct now, and that's counting some of the sealed stuff that I do, the individual sales that I have, and even with all my surgery and stuff recently. Also, this is my scar. You guys can kind of see it now. It looks like someone tried to like cut my throat open but failed. And I have this moment where I'm just like, God, I could scale this so much more if I took the time and I really went hard. And not like a little, like I go hard. And that's what I did this year. And I was like, I'm going to quad up. I looked at what my numbers were last year. I have already done 4 times what I did on TCG Player last year. I need to go double check that. I I think it was like 28 or 30 grand. I think I'm on track this year to be very close to 4xing that. And that's with me power cycling, constantly doing more and adding more and adding more. And that's also with honestly a huge majority of the bulk not even listed yet. All I have listed from like the initial bulk purchase was Modern Horizons 1, Ultimate Masters, Throne of Eldraine, Conspiracy 2 Uncommons, War of the Spark Uncommons, some tokens. What the heck else was there? I think that's the bulk of it. Oath of the Gatewatch Uncommons. Let me see what else on that list. Yeah, I think that's actually about it. So it's like those 5 or 6, 7 sets, and like since then I've added 2x2. I've added the Ravnica Remastered Clue. You think like, oh my god, you're selling this stuff from Clue? You'd be freaking mind blown how many singles I've sold from Clue. Like, it's wild. I think I spent like $140 on boxes, and I've definitely made that back already. Like, it's just wild. And it's just like it's such like a fun moment to see like that shift of me from 3 years ago with six boxes and about $600. I think is what I spent, was something like that. $670, I think, making that master set of Kaldheim, and then looking back and being like, oh my god, what the hell am I getting myself into? And I'm just like, I work a full-time job, I do this on top of it, I take care of the house, I spend time with the wife and the pups when I have time, and the cats, and I built this like massive machine. And I'm just like, this is such a cathartic moment. And all I'm sitting here thinking is like, I just want to scale it more. And that's why, like, when I showed you the Pokemon at the beginning, I released the video series or the start of it. I need to release more, the rest of them. Sealed investing is for lazy people, right? I practice what I preach, and my goal was to continually 5x what I was buying in Pokemon. So I went from 6 boxes of Sword and Shield to 30, because 6 times 5, 30. And I kept all my Sword and Shield stuff because I know initially when I'm doing this cycling, I need to commit the capital initially. And that being said, I have 2 more years of Scarlet Violet, almost, not quite, like about a year and 4 months, 8 months, 6 months, somewhere in there. I don't know. There's 6 more sets of Scarlet and Violet. They release 3 or 4 a year, 3? I don't know, 3 or 4 a year. But if it's 4 year, I have a year and a half. If it's 3 year, I have 2 years. But I have a year and a half to scale up and prep and continue building that side of the business so that I can then move from 30 boxes to 150. And I will continually build that system until I move from 150 to 750. And I will effectively have started doing what Rudy is doing, which is just buying a pallet of Pokemon. He keeps his 1,000 boxes just to sit on for 5 to 10 years until he needs to move it. And in his case, he never has to move it because he's just been doing this for 20 years. And he's built that massive system. And that's what I'm trying to build, is that massive repetitive system. And this is kind of the journey following me along with that. I don't take any money out of the card business. I keep all of it in there, and I keep power cycling it as hard as I possibly can. And that's just kind of part of the name of the game. And that's why I went from, 10, 20 boxes of FaB to 50 boxes of FaB to 150 to 250 to 400, because I started combining orders with buddies, to now 500, 600, and now all up to 800. And I hope, by the end of next year that I'm pushing between 1,000 and 2,000 boxes per set. And I would love to be there. And I'm going to keep grinding until we get there, and we're just going to keep having a blast. I'm super excited for Rosetta. I think it's going to be an amazing set. I think people are sleeping on it. The Rosetta Marvel, Fable, whatever's going on with that is, oh my god, it's gorgeous. And it's apparently dumb hard to pull. Hopefully I get one out of one of the boxes that I'm opening. If not, I'll probably pick one up in a collection at some point or make my sets out of it. I don't really care. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm so hyped for Rosetta. It's a big set for me. I think it's going to do great. I think the release schedule has gotten very good with FaB. It's strong base. I think people are bananas to say it's not going to stick around anymore. I think they're on set 14 or 15 now, and they release 3 a year. So 5 years of Flesh and Blood now. Just saying, you'd be kind of silly to keep sleeping on it. it's just going to keep growing and growing and doing better and better. Like, they're not going anywhere. So, yeah, have fun, guys. Thank you so much for the support. Love you guys. Don't forget to hit that join button and the subscribe button and share the videos. It helps a ton. I will see you guys later, and ta-ta for now. Bye.